We need to soon do a new intro video on fraction of a man I used to be.
You are. You're looking good, man.
Thank you. I look at those photos and I'm like, he was a chubbier dude back then.
We just placed an order for new shirts, new shirt size, pippity poppity.
I haven't been in XL since probably 10th grade of high school, I think. Yeah, I was a little more bigger and firmer and muscular back then.
Firmer's a good word, right?
Yeah, I wasn't as fluffy.
Yeah.
Fluffier today.
20 some years later, fluffier. I like it.
Working to get back to fighting form without the fighting.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Fit form.
There you go.
Yeah. But it's midsummer in Lancaster. Our summer sleepcation sale is going on. Vitamin D actually promotes better sleep. And what better time to get a big dose of vitamin D than this summer? It's either a lot of sun and heat, or as we just kicked off the show, a lot of rain.
Dude, I bet our listeners can hear that.
Yeah.
That this large flat roof of ours above our head really echoes the rain down here.
Oh, there's the thunder. I was
like it's on cue, right?
Yeah. I was zooming around on my motorcycle this weekend, and the old adage here in Lancaster County is if the corn is knee high by the 4th of July, you're in for a good harvest, and it is more like shoulder high.
I was going to say there's some places where it's like taller than us.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. So things are good ahead, right? You can't always just look at it as, oh, it's raining again, it's bad. No, it's good. It's we're getting more in for the summer, more corn, more vegetables in the fields. So that's always good for the harvest land.
Absolutely. It's rained so much. I wonder how that affects the farmers' produce at the end. I know obviously a drought condition is bad.
It's a balance.
But I would think
it's a balance of things.
Too much rain is the other. I know our personal garden at home is like flourishing.
Yeah.
The butternut squash has moved from one side of the thing to the other side. It's going crazy. It's like taking over.
Squatternut Bosch.
I guess so.
Yeah. But no, it's all a balance, right?
Yep.
And you're grateful for all of it. I mean,
it's true.
Many, many thoughts and prayers for the folks down in Texas with all that.
Oh my goodness. And numerous areas of the country.
Yeah. So, but yeah, summer in Lancaster County and things are good. And we're back here podcasting away, doing what we do because we care about the community. And today's guest does the same with their business. And it's pretty remarkable. Almost $1 million raised is what I see in our prepared notes.
Yep. Yeah. So let's bring our guest on. On today's episode of Lancaster Connects, we are joined by Brittany Garner, CEO of Life Changes Realty Group right here in Lancaster, PA. Brittany leads a mission-driven real estate team that does things differently, from guiding clients through life's major transitions with heart and care to giving back to the community through their inspiring Pay It Forward program. We're looking forward to talking to Brittany about that. Brittany, welcome to Lancaster Connects.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So let's learn about Life Changes Realty, the story behind Life Changes Realty, and what inspired its founding, and how did you get involved?
Yeah. So a couple of phenomenal women in my life, and one of them, Naomi Fredland, had been in real estate for a while, and she saw that there needed to be a change and that clients needed to be seen as it being client focused and not just a transaction. So she ended up starting Life Changes Realty Group because she was going through a life change, and everybody that's looking to buy or sell a home is typically going through some version of a life change. And so she created the company really to just be her and have a backing of, she believed in giving 10% back into your community, which is what spearheaded the Pay It Forward program from day one. And it spoke so highly to several of us in the field that we literally just flocked to her and wanted to be a part of that mission.
So at that point, you were already in the real estate field and found her?
So I have a background. I think we all probably just heard that thunder. I have a background.
My goodness, I even saw like a flash.
Yeah, it's right out my window. I had a background in social work. So I actually wanted to work with kids with disabilities since I was in 4th grade. And everything that I wanted to do after I graduated required a master's degree. And my husband and my mom said, "What about real estate?" in the same day. And I thought they were crazy. I said, "Houses are pretty." I never considered that field. And I met with my mentor, Tracy Seeger, and got to learn about life changes. And she had just come over there several months prior. And having that background, I really saw that I could work and I could still get back into my community, but it wasn't what paid my paycheck. And I still got to sit on all the boards and committees. So I started taking my test, and 4 months later, I had my license and sold my first house and fell head over heels in love with it. So I've been with them for about 10 years now. In November will be a decade.
That's awesome. And Life Changes Realty was formed in Lancaster County, correct?
It was, yeah, right in Elizabethtown. And then we branched into Lancaster as was actually our second office at the time. It is now our main hub right off of Centerville Road. And so we have a branch office in Elizabethtown and one actually in Bel Air. Realized what good we could do in the community here. And that was a big part of what I wanted to do, was bring it into more spaces and do good in other communities.
That's awesome. And you're now the CEO?
I am. So I bought the brokerage almost 3 years ago. So
Wow.
managed it for 2 years prior to that, and was very blessed. Naomi had a big life change of her own and needed to succession plan somewhere. And it's a dream of mine that I thought was going to happen when I was a grandmother. I thought it was going to be a long time. Naomi's dad was a real estate attorney that worked until he passed in his late 80s, and Naomi has been through and through. So I thought this would be a dream that would come way later in life, and was super blessed that she passed her baby over to me. And now we can continue to grow and do good for what she has started here.
Was that always the plan to have you, as you came in and ascended with the brokerage, to buy it?
No. I sold my first house, fell in love with it. A year and a half later, branched off and started my own team, and loved the mentorship aspect of that and being able to help agents grow. And it was just kind of a funny thing that was said one day. I knew that eventually she would want to pass that over. She was going to retire. And I was like, I would love to take this over, and never thought anything else of it. And then the day after I turned 30, she gave me a call and said, "Hey, I need to make a plan, and would you want to take over?" And I was shocked and blessed, and super, super grateful for the opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah. So with you coming in as CEO, your different experiences, um, what is it about what you're building that's so different with your realty brokerage from the others? Because, I mean, truth be told, you probably know this, right? Everybody knows a realtor. There's all that connection, right? And so what is it about what you've built and are continuing to build that makes Life Changes so attractive to both people who want to sell homes and people who want to buy homes, and then the realtors making all of that happen?
Yeah, I would tell you that my agents are the easiest part of my job. They are wonderful. They lead with their hearts. They lead with putting people first. We talk more people probably out of buying and selling than into it, because the reality is it's what's best for that person. And so that makes us really stand out. The Pay It Forward program is at the forefront, but it's really just, I would say, a bonus. At the end of the day, the first thing that I learned in real estate was this is, for most people, the largest financial decision of their life. So we take it very seriously, and we're there to guide them no matter how long that's supposed to take. So I would say for my agents that's huge. Just being able to figure out and problem solve together. There's no competition. There's no leaderboards within our brokerage. It's not based off of sales and volume numbers. We actually, when we goal set on number of families that we want to help in a year, not based off of what volume that is. For some of us, our favorite sales were the $30,000 investment or the single mom that was able to get a home for her and her kids. And they're normally the lower dollar amount that made the biggest impact. That, for even me, I'm not a crier, make us cry at settlement, to be around those people and wrap our arms around them. So that's what we say. I joke around a lot that if you are nervous, scared, or hate real estate agents, you're the perfect person for me. Like, I want to work with somebody that I can wrap my arms around. And that's what all of the agents here take very seriously.
Yeah. So what are, if you don't mind sharing, and, you can change names, speak in a little more higher level of the situations, but you said something about how you talked to people out of buying and selling, and that was a good thing. Um, what are some of those like scenarios that you might be able to share?
Yeah. So I don't take an approach to real estate that everybody should own a home. I think that everybody should own a home at some point in their life, but that doesn't mean that that needs to be right now. And so if you're renting and you have no savings and you're about to use every penny that you have to be able to buy this home, when the water heater goes, you don't have a landlord to call anymore. So being able to walk people through those steps of saying, hey, let's make sure that we're putting you in a really good financial position because this is now yours and your money is in your walls, but we want to make sure that we're protecting your investment. I walk through that process, and all my agents do pretty seriously, as well as if you really don't know if this is the area that you want to be in. So people are making big life changes. We are going through marriages and divorces and having babies and becoming empty nesters and parents that are going into homes, like we're normally doing very high emotional sales. If you're looking to be here because you're now taking care of a parent or you're graduating college, but your real dream is to be out in Colorado, if you only want to be here for maybe 2 years, it's not the place to put your investment at this point in time. So a lot of times we're sitting there and we're talking with them. I use the phrase knowledge is power all the time. So I want to be able to meet with them and say, hey, there's no big scary thing about sitting and talking with us. We're trying to figure out what your goals are for you and the best way to achieve them. And sometimes that means that we have to be the person to say, this isn't the right time. We'll always be here in any industry. You guys can speak to that. We always need customers. We will always be here. So if that now, 6 months from now, 10 years from now, just give us a call. We'll make sure that we're checking in with you along the way. But I want to build a plan that feels right for you. The last thing we want to do is put somebody in a home and that's not where they want to be. And they'll dislike us very quickly at that point.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and very smart advice. And I'm glad you're doing it because there is so much run end expense in buying a home, even in selling a home. If you have to sell too soon and, you've bought when a market's high and, there's a job transfer that came up out of nowhere, but with some conversation, might have been a reality on the table of, hey, maybe getting in at an all-time high in the market when a transfer is likely doesn't make sense because now you got to exit. That's very costly on both the seller side and even on the buyer side because you have a lot of expense as a buyer. Now, some of that can be offset in the deal making, right? That a good realtor can help you navigate, but that's very smart. And I like how you're bringing it forward to your clients about maybe now isn't the right time, but down the road could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just transactions. It's true transition for these families, couples, whoever you're helping with their big life changes, right?
Yeah.
Brittany,
Absolutely.
can you talk a little bit about your team? I know there's, longtime team members you have. I think there's a family member of yours involved in the team. Maybe you could shout him out and some other team members. And maybe you could talk about how many agents you have and just the impact that they all make with your clients.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So my husband was able to leave what he was doing and come in and work on our back end and become our COO, CFO of handling all of that, which has been amazing. I'm very grateful to be able to work with him. He is used to me working crazy long hours and has always been my biggest support. And we have two children. We have a 12 and a 10-year-old. So life is a little crazy. And so I'm super grateful for him. And then there's 18 of us total that are licensed. So several have been with us since day one. Kate, you got to see a little bit earlier. That's our marketing director that makes all of this possible for me on this end and has made this beautiful website. So she's the person I call probably the most to figure out all of this. And then all of our agents have been here. Normally it's because of the background. It's what life changes spoke to them. So some of them have been at other brokerages and moved over to us. Others, this is all they've known. Mel being one of them. Tom and Tracy Seeger, that is Tracy's my mentor that taught me everything that I knew about selling real estate from day one. I'm just another mama to me in general. So her husband, Tom, got to leave after he did commercial lending for 30 years, I believe, and got to join onto the real estate side. And they run a team over here. Andy joined shortly after me. So we've always been here together. Same with Aaron. So we've just been very lucky to get to work with these agents. It's one of the biggest things that I was warned about when I became a broker. A lot of people said, don't become a broker. You can just continue to sell. Agents are going to be the hardest part. They are not. They are the easiest part of my job every day. We have group chats going on. Everybody jumps in. I tease my clients that if anything ever happens, if I can't be there, one of them is going to be there. My only fear is that you're going to like them more than me. They're so easygoing. I mean, they're literally just incredible, and we all learn from each other. Favorite part about real estate is that it's never boring. You'll see something once that we'll never see again in our lifetime, and we really need to be able to lean on each other through those moments, and it be a community over competition type of a feeling. And that's what we wanted to create here, was a family. And it's a easy word to say in companies and not necessarily what they try to live. So I joke with them a lot. I'll say my LCRG fam, but that is what we really try to uphold, is that something happens, work-life balance in this field. You're gone on vacation, that you know that you can call literally any of us to jump in and know that you have somebody that has your back. Now we're just lucky to have 18 of us.
Yeah, it's a big team. Yeah, that is a big team. So I know we want to talk about the Pay It Forward program, because your beneficiary this month is Swan, which is a big, we've got a big heart for them. We've supported Swan over the years, and so we'll talk about them. But real quick, before we dive into that, what is Brittany Garner's current view on the real estate market? What should people be thinking about? Obviously, interest rates continue to be up. Supply continues to be low. There's a teeter-totter-like effect, right, between supply and interest rates. And, buy the house, date the rate is something people say sometimes. But what is your current philosophy, for people who are needing to buy and needing to sell? Maybe we can kind of get that out there.
So real estate is right when it's right for you, is what I always tell everyone. And you have to pay attention to what your local market is doing. What it says on the news is one thing. You really need to be paying attention and talking to agents within your area and interviewing multiple agents to be able to find a good fit for you, is my biggest piece of advice. Our market currently is stabilizing, in my opinion, from what we're seeing. You want to go back to 2021, we used to have 33 offers on the table. We're not seeing quite as many. There's still always going to be a house that's going to have a crazy amount of offers, that's going to go for a large amount over, but it is starting to stabilize. Biggest thing about Lancaster County, if you want to stick to our local market, is that we have never dipped. We have climbed a mountain and plateaued, and climbed the next mountain and plateaued. And even in that '08 craziness, we appreciated at 1%. So people that are looking at waiting for a crash, it hasn't happened here. And I think there's a reality of everything that Lancaster has to bring. And we are so close to all of the major cities. So we're seeing a lot of people move into this area over the COVID time. New York, California, Texas, Florida, everyone comes up here. We're the third place to retire. We keep playing a game with two places in Florida. So I think we're third right now. Top place to retire. Lidditz is in the top 10 coolest towns. Like, we have a lot that's just right here. So I don't anticipate that we're going to see much of a change. The difference is in the real estate world for Lancaster is that you're not competing against as many offers, that you're going to be able to get inspections again, that somebody's not going to be able to, if they sell a house with no pictures of the inside, or a dish full of, or a sink full of dishes, those things start to change, and we have to change our perception around how we market homes again. But I have not seen anything to show me that all of a sudden your house that you just bought for $400,000 is going to be worth $350,000. That just hasn't happened in our market here, which has been great. The rates are rates. We can't really change them. You can date the rate. There's always a time to refinance, and there's a time that it actually doesn't make sense to refinance. And those are numbers that people should always look into as well. You make one extra payment a year, and you can take that 30-year mortgage down to a 18, 19-year mortgage. That might be more worth it for you if it's your forever home. And if it's not your forever home, you have to really watch how much you're going to be adding to the principal of your mortgage just to refinance for something that you plan on selling in a couple of years. Those are big things that I tell my clients. I come with the house for life. We all are telling them that constantly, of call us, ask us before you make those big life decisions so we can walk you through it. But they're not the worst. If you want to go back into the 80s when you're seeing 13, 18%, we can handle 6. maybe a 7.1, depending on what you're looking at. But we're hanging out in the sixes right now, and that's not the worst thing.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Very smart. Love it. Love the focus. Love the advice. Would seem like your clients are all in very good hands with you and all 18 other agents that can be part of the team to help. So that's great. So let's jump into Pay It Forward and just jump right in, I guess, swan dive. Swan dive into why you love Swan.
Wow. Master of transitions right there.
See, you keep doing that. Stop stepping on the laugh.
I wanted to show appreciation for the well done. Go ahead, Brittany.
Oh, it's a good one. So one of my goals for this year was for us to do something quarterly. And we had thought about being able to go out to a nonprofit as a group and be able to help. And the reality is they're busy. And I know that just from my background, they're trying to coordinate volunteers to come in unless there's a very specific project. It's not an easy thing to do. So we were kind of hitting some roadblocks, and we're all part of Referral Partners Plus. And my business partner, Beth Ann, had brought Swan in to speak to the company. And Diana got up and spoke. I don't think there was a dry eye by the time she was done explaining the story. And it just spoke so highly to all of us that Jonathan actually ended up looking and said, "Hey, if I'm going to come to a team meeting and I'm going to cry, can you warn me next time?" And we were like, yeah, that was pretty powerful. And so when she had left, we all kind of looked at each other. And the reality was she shared about how they could not do their summer program. And my first thought is there has to be a solution. So I said, well, how much are we talking? And everyone knew that I was spinning my wheels on trying to figure out how we make up the deficit. And you can't make up a $112,000 deficit overnight. So we created our quarterly Pay It Forward program. We wanted to figure out a way that we could do good and continue to even maximize what we were attempting to do. And for our 5-year anniversary, we had built a couple homes over in Vietnam through Brittany's Hope. And we had such success with that I remembered going through that program and was like, hey, what if we did something similar? And everybody was like, absolutely. And it was a very easy decision to pick Swan and figure out how we could maximize the impact that they're going to need to hopefully have their summer program next year. So we reached out and she kind of got us in touch with you guys. And we're very excited to be able to say we have an anonymous match donor for this quarter. We are telling all of our clients at settlement that that's one of the nonprofits that they can choose to be able to maximize and even have opportunities, because we have community members that might not be buying or selling a home in this moment. It's not something somebody does every single week, but that they can also be a part of that and donate directly to be able to hit our goals. So we're hoping to get around $10,000 to be able to give them this quarter.
That's great. And so you're supporting Swan all of Q3. Is that correct?
All of Q3, yes.
So that's for the non-business folks, that's July, August, and September. Right? Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. You're going to define it, you better have it right?
I pretend to be a business folk most parts of the day. No, I love Swan and what they do. Something that dovetails directly into real estate. I was going to bring this up when you were talking about, good times to buy a home, things to look ahead, the inputs of buying a home, the cost, but school taxes. School taxes are part of owning a home. Here in Pennsylvania, now I don't agree with how we fund schools through property tax, but it's what it is. And we're not going to change that here on this show. I think there are far better ways to do it. But school taxes are very much a part of what goes into owning a home, the cost of owning a home. And I bring this up because however you may feel about it, the fact that it remains that the cost of educating children is on the rise. But the efforts at Swan really help those kids who are in the program stay more connected to education, connect better with education, help with the results of the education that they're receiving in the four walls of the traditional classroom because of all the great work that Diana's doing. And so however you feel about taxes and school taxes, all of the efforts that Swan is doing is making those tax dollars go actually further with those kids that she works with, right? Because they're just so much more connected to education. There's such a better result for them, both in school, in the desk, at home, with themselves, right? They feel better about themselves. And And I'm realizing we've been talking about Swan. Brittany knows Swan. You know Swan.
Mhm.
I know Swan. But our listeners and watchers don't. So, in your words, Brittany, why don't you share what Swan does? Because we
Yeah.
talked about how it make people cry, but like, what's
Oh,
Swan?
absolutely.
Right? I just
We
realized
Yeah,
that.
are
yeah.
an incredible nonprofit. So it's scaling walls one note at a time. And it is for kids within the school district of Lancaster that had a parent that was incarcerated. And they use a faith-based and music-based program to be able to help those kids. And so when Diana came in and spoke, she told stories about kids that hadn't spoken in a couple of years, about kids that have seen some pretty horrific things in their lifetime. And they're little. I mean, we're looking at a 6, 7-year-old kid. Even my son's 10. So some of those stories really stuck to me when I'm looking at that have been in and out of foster cares or have lost both parents, or there was a gal that had nowhere to go. So they end up putting her in the YIC program, which is a really sad thing for a young girl to have to go and that didn't do anything wrong, but the only place that we can put her is in a youth detention center for her to be safe. And so they use the power of music to be able to help give them a voice and to give them therapy. And they have a paid staff of therapists there that as music helps you to unlock everything all those emotions that you've been bottling up that whole time, they can work through it in the moment. And it's free for them, which is pretty incredible for those students. And so their summer program is a huge part of that they get to go to. And it is sad that in 14 years, this is the first year that there's not the funding available for them to be able to do it. And they need that funding by the end of December to be able to do it for next year, which I didn't realize that it came up so quickly. So trying to do everything that we can to help them to get to that goal so that those students can have that same access next year in the hopes that eventually the program grows. That's their goal, is that it's going to branch out further than the school district they're in right now and be able to help even more students, because this is something that's going on in every school district everywhere. So the impact we can make, the more students we can help.
Yeah, it's an amazing organization. And sometimes we kind of go about our own lives and don't really think about, well, what happens to kids when parents are in jail, right? And it's amazing to see the heart of somebody like Diana put together a program like Swan. And we've both been to their, typical summer gala at the end of the summer music program where the kids perform. And it's really touching to see what these kids can put together with some education like that. And of course, music just touches everybody. So really, really amazing that you're supporting that amazing organization. I'm going to ask Chris to put the screen back up, or the website back up, the Pay It Forward page on your site, just to talk through a couple things that were on there. I know there was a donate button, so somebody could donate right there using that button directly. Give funds through your Pay It Forward program to Swan. Is that correct? Or does that go to Swan?
Yes. Well, Swan created the link for us. So if a client chooses Swan as their nonprofit donation, we will pop on here as the agent to give that donation in, but anyone in the community can do this as well. So
Perfect.
We have given some details on there of what that's going to support and how you're paid, kind of like a extra give on a small scale, just for them to be able to see what difference you were able to make, because we had a lot of people that wanted to be able to give back as well.
Perfect. And then there was a button back on that page, Chris, if you could flip back. I forget what the button says. What's Start My Journey there? Chris, if you click that, what does that go to?
That one.
Oh, so this is your Pay It Forward program details.
Program. So this actually, they're going to update that. We got our last quarter's final numbers in. So we are $61,000 away from hitting $1 million. So that's our big goal for the year. And then every time we will feature each nonprofit, and then we showcase a bunch of ones that we have donated to before. And then as this continues to grow, this was something that we had added this year. We're looking to keep adding more nonprofits onto this page as our clients choose who they want them to go to.
And so just to bring that $1 million number into focus, because I think people can hear that number, and we live in a society where, back in my grandparents' day, big budgets were determined by millions. And then in my parents' day, it was billions. And in our day, it's trillions, right?
Mm-hmm.
But $1 million since Life Changes Realty began, almost at $1 million today, the goal being $1 million here soon, if I heard you correctly, by the end of the year.
Mm.
Okay. That's all right here in Lancaster County,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like all.
For the most part.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there might be charities that go outside the region, but that's very profound that it's all right here in our backyard, so to say. It's not like we're attaching, and not that $1 million give back is bad, whether it's local or across the nation, but the fact that it is in the region, it is local, I think is very special. So kudos to you and to Life Changes Realty for that, because it's all those dollars staying local in our backyard, which I think is very special.
How does a program get picked by your organization to be one of the beneficiaries of the Pay It Forward program? Can you hear me? Brittany, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. This storm is not bothering me.
Oh, yeah. I figured there must have been a blip there. So how does an organization get picked by Life Changes Realty to be part of the Pay It Forward program?
So this is brand new to us. Diana came in and spoke, and because of her speech, we were blown away. So we're really hashing all of those details out right now. But I would say for the most part, it's coming down to the agents. We're all going to continue to meet at our team meeting. We're going to have nonprofits come in and speak, and then it's going to be something that we all decide together. I believe in the fact that we are all equal. So as a company, we don't really make moves without all of us being able to chat. So that will be something that will come down to all of us. And we're looking for ones that are small, that really need our impact, that we can make a big difference into what they're out there trying to do, and be able to continue to showcase them. Because I know that it's hard. It's hard to be a small nonprofit. Nonprofits in general need help. I understand that. But that's kind of what we're looking for, is some of our local ones that are making a huge impact that people don't really know about, because a lot of us didn't know about Swan until we got to hear from her.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. And I'm so glad we got to talk about what Swan did, to kind of circle back to what I was saying about how, education and how Swan complements education. Now that we filled that in, it is a small charity, but what Diana does with her team has tremendous impact. And, if you're watching, please do go to swan4kids.org, I believe is the direct site. And that's the number 4, swan4kids.org. Do go and watch the videos, watch their YouTube channel. And you'll see what we're talking about. You'll see what moved Brittany and her team. You'll get it, and you'll understand why it's so important. And, if you go to donate and you see the $25, and if you're like, yeah, I'll donate, click the every month, right? Because the same motivation that made you donate now, like, we're all so busy, just like it'll feel good every time you see it on your statement. You'll feel good, I promise you, about donating. And maybe you decide to donate $100 every month. You'll feel good about that too. I know we all get busy. I know we all want to do good. Technology is so great nowadays where we can just kind of set it and forget it and do good. And they're a legitimate 501c3. So you'll get that as a tax write-off. And whether you're a business folk or not, you can always use a tax deduction to a great charity like Swan for Kids. So, just some things to think about there, right? Like, if you can do it now, you probably can do it next month and the month after. Life Changes Realty, you'll get credit for that using their link, because I know Diana's team's real smart. And then we'll match that with the anonymous donor who's matching funds. Am I doing a good job here pitching it? I feel like I'm pitching this hard, aren't I, Brittany?
I love it.
But it's for the kids. It's for the kids. And they get to learn, and they get engaged, and they find passions. And maybe it's not music, but maybe they like being in front of a crowd, and they were afraid to speak in front of a crowd.
Yeah.
Well, now later in life, that opens opportunities, right? Maybe for a job, they could do something never thought possible, like be in sales. right? Because being in sales means you're talking in front of somebody. And before Swan, they couldn't do that. It's just so great. I could just talk the whole show, but I'll be quiet now because Ben's got another question to ask you.
Is there, well, before we get to the next question, is there anything else about the Pay It Forward program that you'd like to share?
I just tell everybody the biggest question that we normally get is, how do you pick who to go to? And the reality is it's whatever speaks to you. And it's one of my favorite parts about ending out a process with a client is I get sad that they become really close to us throughout this. We're a sphere of influence company, which means that we don't pay for leads. We do everything based on our sphere and our word of mouth and based off of referral, which I think is the best way to work. And through that, they get to decide a nonprofit and we get to learn a little bit more about them because there is a reality that we're chit-chatting about either the sale of their home or how many bathrooms and do they want a garage and what they're looking for in their next house. And then at the end of that, we get to sit there and say, what nonprofit speaks to you? And they tell us a lot of stories that we didn't know before about things that they've gone through, breast cancer awareness because of their mother, or we've done Aaron's Acres a lot, and they had a sibling or a brother or something that they've gone through that it spoke to them. We get to really learn about them. So it truly is any 501c3 that speaks to you is who we donate to. It's not a specific list. We can help and we do guide. I ask people, are you looking for kids or pets or whatever it might be to help guide them if they're not sure. But I learn a lot about my clients. I would tell you one of my favorite ones, I had a client that was non-ambulatory and they picked Dance Wheels, which I had never heard of before. And they're a nonprofit that helps people learn how to dance when one's in a wheelchair and one's not. And that's how they learn to dance their first dance for their wedding. And that was pretty incredible. So we get to learn a lot of really cool things that exist out there for our clients, even though we're making the donation, but it is really, truly because of them. That's a big question that we get is, how do you choose? And it's whatever speaks to you.
What was the name of that organization? Dance
Wheels. And so most of our organizations are very, very local or within the region because we do serve Lancaster and all the surrounding counties. So they're normally pretty local to where they're at. And then some of them are very specific to something that they went on in their life. So that would have been one of them that they wanted to be able to continue that nonprofit going to help somebody else because it helped them so dearly. So we really love hearing the stories from our clients and just getting to know them a little bit better at the end of this.
That's amazing. Yeah, I love it.
I love how you said sphere of influence company and we don't pay for our leads. Mm-hmm. I was reminded, really, I guess about a year ago now. Well, not quite a year ago, coming up. My wife's father passed and we settled his estate, sold his house. And at settlement, I was shocked when the buyer's agent confirmed with the title company that more than half of their commission had to go to a big nationwide, I'm not going to name names, but a big nationwide company that generates leads. And I looked at our agent who's, we've done it. I think this was the fourth transaction we did with him. And I talked to him after. He's like, yeah, I was just as floored as you were. Because he's been around for a long time. He's not buying leads. He's got a big network, big sphere of influence. But, that's how you donate back to the community, right? Because you've built who you are as a person. You connect to the community. And it's not that there's so much dollars in real estate. It's just you're moving the dollars around the balance sheet differently. And you're doing that for good.
Yeah.
And boy, I would have loved to have seen, it was about $1,800, as I remember, flying out the door to some big national company. Mm-hmm. Instead of, even if it just stayed in that agent's pocket, I'd have been like, I wouldn't have thought twice about it. But just like, that money's never coming back to the community. Never coming back. But what you do stays right here in the backyard. And that's why you're on the show. And that's why we love what you're doing.
Well, thank you.
Brittany, what's next for Life Changes Realty?
Oh boy, we are always trying to think of what the next thing is that we want to do and how to continue to grow to make a bigger impact. So right now, I would say it's Bel Air. We have been working really hard on our office in Bel Air, Maryland, and being able to bring this program into that area and learn the nonprofits in that area and how we can continue to grow this. So that's been a huge one. And then just continuing to serve well. That's first and foremost for all of us, is that we serve well and it will continue to come back tenfold. And that's what we've continued to see for the past 13 years and hopefully for a very, very long time after that.
I'm not real familiar myself with Bel Air, Maryland. Is that a community similar to Lancaster County or Lancaster City?
It is. So we laugh a lot because we do a lot of work in Baltimore County, Bel Air, which is Hartford County, and Cecil County, Maryland. And Hartford County to Cecil County is a lot like Lancaster to York. So I feel like our communities are pretty similar in that we're used to it. One travels over the river one way, but not the other. We always joke.
Yeah.
But the agents have been phenomenal. And it's been a really fun way to get to learn a new community, and they've been very welcoming. So that was super exciting to see. And we're loving a new town, and we have a lot of several of our agents are from that area or right bordering it, which is why it made it a very easy decision to start there as our next move. So it's been great. It's been great to get to learn. Cecil County does a lot with nonprofits already as an organization for real estate. So that's been really awesome to be around a huge community of agents. My very first transaction out there was actually in Baltimore County, and that agent personally started his own version of a pay it forward program, which was really amazing to see this continue to get adopted and to grow, which is what we need. This isn't something that we can do just on our own. If we can all come together, we'll all have a bigger impact.
Yeah. Love it. Love what you're doing. And I just wanted to add too, throughout our conversation, I always try to make it part of everything we say when we're talking about charities. So obviously the treasure, the donation is great, right? And every charity will happily and readily take a donation. And I don't say that to make it sound like that's all they care about, but finances are a big part of how they affect their mission and the great work they do. But they also need time. They need time donations, right? So time, talents, and treasure. So time is like later in this summer in August, we brought up Aaron's Acres. I'm going to be there. I'm going to take my slingshot to their camp, or not camp, their fair for parents and the kids. I don't know how, we're not going to get too wild with it, but we're going to have some fun with it there, and it'll be a new experience for the kids, right? So that's time, right? Donating time. If off the streets, like if you can help pick things up, put things down, and move people in, that's time. Talent would be if you're a graphic designer or can do websites or, know how to do stuff like that. That would be talents that you can donate. So it's not always money. And oftentimes some of these small charities, right, Brittany, they need those things to affect the mission. They need the time. They can't do it all themselves, and they need the talent, but the treasure is always nice too.
Absolutely. I think you get more out of it when you get to be hands-on. Aaron's Acres is a huge one. I was a camp counselor with them, and I've done pictures at camp. If you've never gotten to go and do pictures at camp, you have to. Those kids, I said they're the only ones that can get me in a cold pool at 9 a.m. would be those kiddos. They are incredible. So they definitely, when you get yourself immersed into what the community is doing, you fall in love with any of the nonprofits and and it is so far beyond the money, or even looking at it as somebody that can only donate $5. You would be shocked when you sit in those board meetings to know how far that $5 actually goes. If everyone was doing something just as little as that, I get a lot of questions of, I can only do $10 extra give. I've been a part of extra give for the past 10 years. It's my favorite day of the year. I said, if I could be a money fairy and just go around giving out money all day, that would be the ultimate dream job. But people walk up and they give $5 and you see the impact of how many hundreds of thousands we've been able to give back. So definitely get out there into the community. It's amazing.
Yeah. Love it. Yeah, very good. And again, like you said, if it's only $5, if it's $5 now, it's likely $5 next month. So I'm not trying to spend our listeners' money and watchers' money, but I'm challenging to say if it's a yes now, it's likely a yes again in 4 weeks from now. And so really try to find that spot where you can give back and just program it. Like life gets busy. We understand it. We're a consumerist society. So if you don't budget it, if you don't put it in, it probably goes somewhere else. Maybe a larger coffee, maybe a new thing that you might not really need, but you're going to feel really great about donating to a great place like Swan. So certainly support what Life Changes Realty is doing now with Swan as their quarterly focus for Give Back. You'll help Diana and all those wonderful kids out with their music learning and their supports that they get. And if you could put it on repeat and run it back every month, all the better. So we'd love to help Brittany get their goals done and make all that happen for Swan. Yep.
Brittany, as we wrap up our time talking about Life Changes Realty here, is there anything that you'd like to share kind of to wrap up the time? Anything we might have missed?
I think we went over a lot of it.
Yeah.
I very much enjoyed being on here and being able to speak to it. So thank you so much for your time today. It's a lot of fun. And so I'm grateful for the opportunity and to get the word out there and to be able to hopefully help someone get that program up and running.
Awesome. Well, again, thanks for being on and sharing. If you got a few more minutes, we got our Connection Cocktail
Ben's favorite
questions to get to know our guest a little bit better. I'll kick this off here. We've been asking recent guests if they have a favorite book, TV show, podcast. What are you digesting these days?
Yeah.
What do you like?
So I am a book nerd. So I would tell you that I have a unhealthy obsession with buying business books. A couple of my favorites. So The Greatest Salesman in the World would be one of my favorite business books when you're looking at sales. I think the way that it's a very easy read, I think it puts a lot into perspective. And I go back to that a lot with my team on just the way that you continue to keep your business moving. So that would be one of my favorites. And then another one that I would say, I'm not a huge audio book listener. I think I'm a very fast reader, so that doesn't always help when I feel like the audio or the voice isn't what I would like. But Matthew McConaughey's Green Light, if you have not read that book, you need to listen to it because it's one of the most incredible books I've ever had an opportunity to listen to. So those would be my favorite.
That's cool.
And you get to hear the all right, and Matthew McConaughey's voice.
Exactly.
That was a terrible impression of it. I think I got the cadence of it right.
Close. It was close. Yeah, it wasn't bad. So,
all right. Well, my question is, your dream vacation, where would that be?
Oh, so I love to travel and I will pretty much go anywhere. I am a very easy person to travel with. So I'm like, take me wherever you would like to go. But Barcelona has always been on my list. So if I had to pick one right now, that's probably what I would say. The architecture, I love doors, I love the colors, just everything that they have there. I would love an opportunity to see around Spain.
You could visit my Aunt Cynthia in Barcelona.
Huh.
That sounds wonderful. I'll make that happen.
Stay with that.
I'll make that happen. I'll make it real awkward. I'll make it happen right now.
Awesome. So last question, tough one. It's probably the toughest question we asked. If you're picking a favorite spot in Lancaster, coffee shop, restaurant, park, somewhere outdoors, whatever, where would it be?
Oh, so I love trying new spaces, but if I was to go somewhere, I would probably say Double C in Lancaster City. They are one of my favorites.
What did you say?
Double C.
Double C. What is? I'm sorry, I'm not familiar.
It is a Mexican restaurant in Lancaster City, and they have the best margaritas. And they are just wonderful. The food is amazing. The atmosphere is amazing. The staff is amazing. I've never had a bad experience there. So if I had to pick one place to go back to, but I will tell you that I am the person that will try a new spot all the time. Yeah,
and where are they in Lancaster?
They are right in the city on, I'm going to say that wrong. I was going to say
Row.
I'm not sure.
Look at that. All right.
Wow. Yeah, you got to check them out. They open at like 4. They're not a lunch spot morning.
Sure.
After on an unfortunate expedition with tequila when I was a young gentleman, I swore off margaritas for a very long time. Like probably until a year ago.
Oh my goodness.
And then I had one and I'm like, oh, well, I don't want to throw up again from tequila. The Cointreau from the margarita and the other stuff mixed in masked the tequila and I can finally drink it again. I've very much enjoyed margaritas. So now I can get back on with the margarita.
Back on. Yeah, I like it. I am not familiar with Double C, and we are always looking for new places to visit, my wife and I. So that's going to be on the list. That's
tacos. You can't have
you can't go tacos.
Love it. Thank you for the recommendation. We'll have to get there.
We may have lost our guest.
We might have.
The storm's finally
got it. But we made it all the way to the end where we got double C in there.
That's right.
We got to talk about Swan again. Brittany, thank you for joining us. Looks like we may have actually lost her.
Yeah.
That's okay. We planned it. Like the tech genius that is Chris Stone at Cast Ahead made it all happen. And the storm gods met with the podcast gods, and the podcast god won. Chris Stone won, and we got us through the show with our hats.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Great show. Great organization, giving back to Swan.
Yeah.
One of our favorite local nonprofits. And it's just really, really cool to see businesses, for-profit businesses, have such a focus on giving back to the community.
Yep.
It's really, really cool to see. And Lancaster's full of organizations that give back to the community they do business in.
And, it reminds me, we need to tell people if they want to be on the show, they go to lancasterconnects.com/guest to get that started. You can apply to be a guest. lancasterconnects.com/guest. If you're a business, you need to have a focus on giving back like Brittany.
Mm-hmm.
They're the barometer, way up here, way up. We're not going to just give you a free commercial for a half hour or so. Have to demonstrate you're giving back in a wonderful way, as Life Changes Realty is, and others. Or if you're just an outright charity helping our community, you've got that fast lane in.
Yep.
But we'll verify that too, right? You can't just make it up and then do an end around and promote your business. So we'll check that out. But you'll get all the details, lancasterconnects.com/guest. My Sleep Better tip. We'll mail you the Sleep Better book. Go to gardnersmattressandmore.com/sleep-better. Is about related to summer, right? And we've got a summer sleepcation sale going on, right? We're past graduations. We're past, I need to get away because summer started. We're past July 4th, and now we're into the meat of summer. Sunshine, you're out in your yard, you're getting a lot of vitamin D, soaking it in. That boosts all the goodness your body needs to help perform, all the goodness your body needs to help flush at night. It actually helps to produce melatonin, which, if you think about it, we talked about corn, knee-high, 4th of July, farmers. Why do you think when they hit the pillow, they go right to sleep? It's because they've all that vitamin D goodness and their bodies created melatonin, and it's time to sleep. And so that's why we've got our summer sleepcation event going on. Great ways to save money on a new mattress, but get vitamin D. Don't just sit inside in the AC because it's hot. Get outside. You can do it for 20, 30 minutes, an hour. You can do it. Of course, be safe, sunscreen, water, hydrate, all that good stuff. It'll help you sleep better too, because if you're dehydrated while you're sleeping, you get that nasty, I got a cramp in my leg, and it's like somebody grabbed it, reached out and tried to pull
that was a sleep tip from a few weeks ago.
Yeah, right. So if you're a watcher, you're seeing how I'm looping it together. But no, get out, enjoy the sun, and you'll sleep better.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. There it is. Look at that.
There's our summer sleepcation sale propaganda.
Like it. So, Gardener's Mattress and More testimonial time. We had a couple of Google reviews that came in from a couple of customers over the weekend. 2 different customers, Kevin and a customer named Amy. Kevin's review, these were both very simple and short and to the point, which is awesome.
Can Ben make it short, simple?
Yeah, right. So Kevin said, Bill was extremely patient, knowledgeable, and helpful. All 3 things we strive to be every day. And Amy said, my parents bought a mattress, an adjustable frame. Drew was awesome. And she even sent a picture of her parents. I know you can't see that here, but they're actually there. There it is right there.
There it is on screen.
Put Pops there, right there on the mattress that he ordered. And again, we can't be more thankful for our customers, and even more humbled by the fact that they go online and give us some kind words.
And I got to meet that family. I was here Saturday for our weekly meeting with the team. Sometimes it's virtual for me. Sometimes it's in person. I was here, and I just got to say simply, thank you for coming to our store. I didn't know if they had bought anything yet. And then I saw the review come through, and then I saw the photo get added. I'm like, that's just great. We love that.
One of my favorite things to do here is when I hear a customer, when we're in our office, which is right next to the sales desk, we can't see who's out there, but we can hear what's going on. we hear the credit card machine, we hear a sale being made, and pop a head out and just say, "Hey, thanks for your business." And it's always nice to have that conversation. It's generally when the customers are most happy. It's that moment, and of course, when they get to bed, right? But I love talking with customers and just saying thank you, because they're thanking us.
They're
for
the
being,
number one reason we're here.
Right. They're thanking us for being their light through the process of what sometimes feels like a daunting task of buying a mattress. But it's great. We're very grateful for all of these wonderful customers who have said some pretty awesome things about our business.
Yep. So that's right. It's another show in the books.
Yeah.
Go enjoy summer, Lancaster. Get all that vitamin D. Sleep well with it. Boost melatonin. Boost all the goodness your body needs to help flush away what you did throughout the day, so you wake up more refreshed in the morning. Wake up more refreshed next Monday to see us on Lancaster Connects. We'll see you next week.
Love it.